The Grand Galactic Council Hall was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Towers of shimmering crystal stretched high above, catching the light of distant stars, and hundreds of alien species filled the enormous chamber. Their forms varied in size, shape, and color, some with scales that shimmered like molten metal, others with eyes that glowed like twin moons. All had gathered for a single purpose: to decide the fate of humanity. Humans, once quiet observers of galactic affairs, now stood at the center of the Council's attention. They had been remembered not for conquest but for mercy. Time and again, humans had saved entire colonies from destruction. They had offered food to starving planets, healed wounded soldiers, and refused to annihilate enemies even when victory was guaranteed. The older alien leaders whispered among themselves. "They are dangerous. Don't provoke them," hissed a serpentine being whose scales reflected the Council's glowing lights. Its voice was soft but sharp enough that those nearby leaned closer to hear. A few of the younger delegates scoffed, shaking their heads. Humans, dangerous? They are weak. They let others decide battles for them. At the far edge of the hall, a young alien observer named Talix watched everything with wide, curious eyes. Talix had never seen humans in action before. Most of the Council's debates were filled with arrogance and ego, but the humans remained calm. Their eyes were focused, and they moved with quiet purpose. Unlike past wars the Council had fought, where armies shouted and weapons clanged, these humans prepared without a sound. Talix noticed subtle details. Humans checking their equipment, whispering instructions to one another, and maintaining perfect discipline. There was no sign of panic or fear. Why are they so calm? Talix wondered. Even the smallest flicker of doubt seemed absent from their faces. The Council's debate grew louder. "We cannot allow humans to gain more colonies," said a towering insectoid leader. "They will interfere in our territories, and their mercy will only make them stronger." Another, a winged creature with feathers that gleamed like polished bronze, replied, "Mercy is weakness. They are only brave because they have never faced true danger." A low hum of agreement filled parts of the hall, but Talix noticed that some of the older members were uneasy. Memories of past encounters with humanity lingered like shadows. There were whispers of battles fought and colonies saved in the nick of time. The humans had been merciful then, yes, but they had also been clever, unpredictable, and fearless. Those who had underestimated them had regretted it. Talix's attention was drawn to the human representatives themselves. Captain Elias Ward, the human ambassador, stood tall despite the intimidating crowd. His posture was relaxed, but his eyes were sharp, scanning the room as if he could sense every thought whispered against his people. Around him, a small contingent of humans adjusted controls on devices that glowed softly, instruments whose purpose was unclear to the alien delegates. "What are they planning?" a young alien beside Talix muttered. The question was rhetorical. No one dared approach a human without permission. As the Council debated, Talix noticed an unusual tension. Even the voices of the loudest speakers carried a trace of fear. They had all heard the stories, humans showing mercy one moment and ruthless precision the next. The galaxy remembered the colonies that had been saved, but it also remembered the fleets that had vanished under strange circumstances, never destroyed with malice, but always removed from any threat. Talix's curiosity grew into concern. Something was different this time. Humans were not merely defending themselves, they were preparing. But preparing for what? And why had no one taken the warning seriously? The Council's noise swelled, arguments clashing like waves. "We must act," screamed a massive creature with 4 arms and glowing eyes. "If we wait, humans will grow stronger and their mercy will turn into domination." Elias Ward raised a hand. The room fell silent. Every alien eye turned toward him. "We did not come here for war," he said, his voice calm but firm. "We have warned the galaxy through our actions before. We have spared, protected, and forgiven. But mercy is not weakness. This time, if forced, we will act, and it will not be like before." The room shivered with unease. The young delegates exchanged nervous glances. For the first time, many realized that humans were not only merciful, they were patient. And patience had a limit. Talix's heart pounded as he watched. Humans moved with quiet precision, checking every system, making final adjustments to equipment that even the Council could not fully understand. Their calm confidence filled the chamber with tension. It was a warning disguised as composure. The Council continued to argue, voices growing louder, But Talix could only focus on the humans. Something about their stillness, their readiness, filled the air with anticipation. The galaxy had been warned countless times, but no one had listened. Now the feeling in the room was unmistakable, and in that moment Talix realized the truth. Humanity's mercy had limits. The unexpected war was coming, and the galaxy was unprepared. The outer rim of the galaxy was quiet, almost too quiet. Stars glimmered in the dark void, and distant planets spun silently in their orbits. Yet beneath this calm surface, subtle signs of movement began to stir. Alien colonies long abandoned or on the edge of collapse now whispered rumors of humans arriving, not as conquerors, but as protectors. On the mining planet of Voral 9, reports spread like wildfire. Colonists spoke of strange ships descending from the sky, sleek and unlike any alien vessel. Humans emerged in uniforms that were simple yet precise. They offered aid, repairing damaged machines, sharing advanced technology, and even distributing food and medicine. No demand, no orders, just help. Many aliens watched these acts with suspicion. "Why do they care?" asked a reptilian merchant, his eyes narrow and calculating. "Humans gain nothing from this. They have no colonies here. They could take whatever they want, yet they do not." Talix, the young observer from the council, had been sent to report on these developments. From his vantage point on a cliff overlooking the main city of Voral 9, he could see humans coordinating rescue efforts with calm efficiency. One small team helped repair a collapsed water pipeline, while another set up temporary shelters for families who had lost their homes. They worked quickly, quietly, and without hesitation. "Why are they doing this?" Talix muttered to himself. He had watched humans in council debates, had seen their calm composure, and now he saw their actions in the field. There was something unsettling about their patience and control. They were not showing mercy out of weakness, they were deliberate. Every move seemed calculated. Meanwhile, far from Voral 9, another human fleet approached a disputed star system known for pirate attacks and constant skirmishes. Alien commanders stationed there noticed the ships appearing on their sensors and assumed the humans would act cautiously, perhaps negotiate or retreat. Instead, humans deployed reconnaissance drones with precision, mapped the dangerous zones, and secured the system without firing a single shot. "It is impossible," a shocked alien captain said, his four hands trembling as he tried to contact his superiors. They moved like shadows, but they controlled everything. Back on Voral 9, humans were not only helping the population, they were also observing. Talix noticed teams scanning the horizon, recording data, and communicating in quiet tones. It was clear they were preparing for something bigger, something the galaxy could not yet imagine. Rumors of these actions reached the council. Delegates argued fiercely. "Humanity is clever," said one winged alien. "They have mercy, yes, but there is strategy in it. Every act of kindness is a lesson, every rescue a trap to understand us better. And yet we ignore the warnings," hissed a serpent-like ambassador. "They are not weak. They never have been." Talix felt a chill as he listened to these debates. He had thought humans were merely brave or righteous. Now he realized their mercy was part of something more, part of a plan or perhaps a test. Every act of help, every peaceful intervention was carefully executed. The galaxy was being watched, measured, and judged. One evening, as Talix observed a human camp near a destroyed alien supply station, he saw something that made him pause. Humans were not only rebuilding and aiding, they were also setting defensive systems. Energy barriers, automated drones, and small tactical devices were positioned in the shadows, almost invisible. It was as if they expected an attack but did not panic. Calmness and readiness coexisted in a way Talix had never seen before. A small alien patrol approached the camp, curious and cautious. One of the aliens stepped forward, speaking in the universal tongue. "Why do you help those who hate you? Why do you repair what we destroy?" A human, tall and lean, replied simply, "We help because it is right. But we prepare because we know the galaxy does not always make the right choices." The alien patrol exchanged uneasy glances. The words were simple, yet their meaning sank deep. These humans were merciful, but that mercy had limits. And somewhere beneath their calm exterior, a warning lingered. Humanity was ready, and those who underestimated them would regret it. Back at the council, Talix sent reports with urgency. Each message described human movements, their aid efforts, and their silent preparations. Some leaders scoffed. dismissing the observations as overcautious paranoia. Others, however, leaned forward, their expressions tight with worry. The galaxy had been warned. The tension in the galaxy was rising. Even the calmest of stars seemed to pulse with unease as fleets of alien warships moved through space, drawn to the outer rim by reports of human activity. These were not ordinary patrols. They were fleets sent to intimidate, to test, and if necessary, destroy. Every alien commander believed humans were weak, that their mercy and quiet aid would leave them defenseless. They were wrong. Captain Elias Ward and his human crew observed the approaching fleets from the bridge of the Aegis Sentinel. Every console flickered with readings of alien movements, and every sensor captured the intricate patterns of ships converging toward contested systems. The humans had not fired a weapon. They did not need to. Their calm, controlled presence spoke volumes. Talix, still watching from the shadows of a nearby planet, could hardly believe what he saw. Alien fleets assumed dominance as they entered human-patrolled space, expecting chaos and panic. Instead, humans maneuvered with quiet precision, intercepting dangerous debris fields and setting defensive positions in anticipation of possible attacks. No humans panicked. No humans rushed. They prepared. An alien warlord, the massive quadruped known as Galactic, decided to test their patience. His fleet advanced, weapons locked and ready. "Show me what your mercy can do," he growled to his sub-commanders. "Strike them before they strike us." But humans did not strike first. Instead, they sent small communication drones toward Kraltek's fleet, broadcasting a simple message: leave the colonies or face consequences. It was not a threat, it was a warning. A calm warning that held the weight of certainty. Kraltek barked laughter, dismissing the humans' caution as arrogance. "They are weak. They cannot fight. We will show them their place in the galaxy." What he did not know was that humans had been preparing for this moment for months. Every act of mercy, every rescue, every repair of a destroyed colony had served a purpose. The humans had gathered intelligence, mapped the terrain of the galaxy, and positioned hidden fleets in strategic locations. They were waiting, patient and controlled. Talix watched as humans deployed defensive arrays. Invisible energy barriers appeared around key colonies, and automated drones positioned themselves at choke points in the asteroid fields. The humans moved silently, as if the universe itself obeyed their careful planning. The first skirmish came not from the humans, but from a miscalculated strike by one of Kraltek's smaller vessels. It fired a warning shot at a human colony outpost, hoping to provoke a reaction. The human response was measured. Drones intercepted the attack and neutralized it without destroying the vessel. A simple action, yet it stunned the observing aliens. The humans were precise, efficient, and restrained. A younger alien commander whispered to Talix, his voice shaking, "Why don't they fight back? Why do they wait?" Talix shook his head. He could feel the tension in the void of space thick enough to touch. They are not waiting, they are preparing. And every moment we waste underestimating them brings us closer to disaster. Meanwhile, the Council on their homeworld debated furiously. Reports of human preparation and calm resistance reached them, but pride and disbelief clouded judgment. "They are clever, yes," said one delegate, a crystalline being whose body reflected light like a prism. "But humans are still mortal. We can crush them if we strike together." Another, darker and taller than most, hissed, "They are patient." Too patient. Patience like that hides fury. Mark my words, when they act, it will be unstoppable. Back in the outer rim, humans continued their quiet preparations. Ward's crew checked every system, calibrated weapons that were only to be used if provoked, and monitored the alien fleet's movements. They were merciful still, but the aura of impending action hung in the air. Every human on deck moved with calm focus, like a predator observing its prey. Suddenly, Kraltek ordered a direct attack. His pride had been wounded by the humans' restraint. "Strike now! Let them feel our power." The humans did not panic. They activated hidden fleets previously undetected by alien sensors. Ships emerged from asteroid fields and behind gas clouds, encircling Kraltek's forces with calculated precision. Not a single human ship fired, but the maneuver alone created an undeniable sense of dread. The aliens could see themselves trapped before a force they had underestimated. Kraltek's pride turned to fear. His 4 massive arms trembled as he tried to coordinate an escape. But the humans had already anticipated this. Mercy is not weakness. Elias Ward's voice echoed across the communications grid, calm and firm. "We warned you before. Now we act if necessary." The Council on Distant Worlds leaned forward, some realizing the humans were not just capable, they were brilliant, strategic, and patient. They had studied every move, every decision, and every weakness in the galaxy's defenses. The reports were clear. Humanity had been preparing all along. Talix's heart pounded. He had never felt such a combination of fear and awe. The humans were still merciful in action, yet every move radiated readiness and strength. The galaxy's arrogance had blinded it, and now it teetered on the edge of consequences it could not yet comprehend. As Kraltek's forces retreated, regrouping under the human pressure, a chilling message was broadcast across the alien networks. "We have warned the galaxy before. Our mercy is not weakness. Next time, it may not be offered." Talix looked at the stars, dark and distant, and realized the truth. The provocation had begun, but the real storm was yet to come. The galaxy thought it controlled the situation. It was wrong. Humanity's patience had limits, and when those limits were reached, no one would forget the lessons of the unexpected war. The silence of space shattered with the first flashes of human action. For months, the galaxy had watched, underestimated, and whispered warnings, but now, the calm patience of humanity had reached its limit. Captain Elias Ward and his crew on the Aegis Sentinel waited no longer. The fleets that had mocked, threatened, and provoked humanity were about to learn a lesson they would never forget. Kraltek's forces, still reeling from the failed provocation, were the first to face the consequences. The massive quadruped had believed humans would strike only in desperation. He had been wrong. Without warning, hidden human fleets that had remained cloaked in asteroid belts and gas clouds revealed themselves. Their numbers were staggering, appearing from angles alien sensors had never predicted. Talix, observing from the safety of a distant planet, felt his stomach tighten. Humans were striking, but not like any alien race had ever seen. Ships moved with precision, cutting off escape routes, surrounding the enemy, and disabling weapons without firing a single shot at first. The aliens were trapped, confused, and terrified. From the bridge of the Aegis Sentinel, Ward watched his crew operate calmly. Every move was measured, every command precise. Drones neutralized weapon systems, shields intercepted incoming fire, and human ships positioned themselves strategically around enemy vessels. The humans had prepared for every possible outcome, turning the battlefield into a chessboard where they controlled every square. Kraltek roared in fury. "Attack! Destroy them!" But his fleet faltered. Each attempt to strike was anticipated and countered. Ships found themselves isolated, cut off from reinforcements, and surrounded by invisible defenses they could neither see nor understand. Talix's eyes widened as he witnessed a human strategy that was terrifying in its simplicity. Instead of slaughter, humans struck to disable and control. Alien ships were immobilized, weapons neutralized, and communications jammed. There was no chaos, no unnecessary destruction. Yet the psychological impact was profound. The aliens understood now that humanity's mercy had been deliberate, and that restraint could be just as deadly as aggression. Meanwhile, across multiple contested systems, humans acted simultaneously. Colonies that had been threatened or abandoned were secured. Humans restored power grids, repaired ships, and evacuated civilians. All the while, hidden tactical fleets maintained strategic control, silently reinforcing humanity's dominance without unnecessary violence. A young alien commander, observing from his scout vessel, whispered to Talix, Why are they so calm? They could destroy everything, and they don't." Talix shook his head, fear and awe blending together. "Because they don't need to. Their power is in patience, planning, and understanding. They strike only when it matters, but when they do, you cannot stop them." The Council on Distant Worlds grew frantic as reports poured in. Entire fleets of aliens that had believed themselves superior were now immobilized, humiliated, and forced to retreat. Leaders scrambled to coordinate reinforcements, but humans had already anticipated every route, every formation, every attempt at counterattack. The galaxy was unprepared for a species that combined mercy with overwhelming intelligence and precision. Back in the Outer Rim, Kraltek realized the gravity of his mistake. His pride had led him to underestimate humans, and now his fleet was trapped. Yet even as he attempted to surrender, a subtle warning echoed across communications channels. We warned the galaxy before. Our mercy is not weakness. This time we act. And it will not be like before. Alien fleets trembled at the calm authority in the message. For the first time, fear replaced arrogance and hesitation replaced pride. The galaxy had never encountered a force that combined mercy, intelligence, and patience so effectively. Meanwhile, human forces did not celebrate. There was no G. The galaxy was trembling. Fleets that had once moved with arrogance now hesitated, unsure where to strike or whom to trust. Humans had demonstrated their power without unnecessary violence, yet the fear they inspired was unlike anything the galaxy had experienced. Captain Elias Ward and his crew observed the alien response carefully, knowing that patience and strategy were as important now as force. Across multiple star systems, humans continued to offer aid to colonies that had suffered under alien occupation or neglect. Food, medicine, repairs, and protection were delivered efficiently, almost silently. The aliens who had caused harm to these worlds now watched helplessly. Their pride was shattered, their fleets immobilized, and their confidence replaced with doubt. But not all aliens welcomed humanity's mercy. Some colonies, led by ruthless warlords, attempted to resist the humans' intervention. They sent attacks against human convoys, hoping to provoke retaliation. Captain Ward anticipated this. His orders were simple: act only if forced, disable if necessary, but do not destroy unless absolutely required. One such warlord, a four-armed alien named Vorthon, sent his fleet to ambush a human convoy carrying supplies to a suffering planet. The humans had predicted this. Hidden ships flanked the ambush zone, ready to immobilize Vorthon's fleet with precise strikes that avoided collateral damage. Energy nets shot across the space lanes, capturing ships, and drones disabled weapons. Not a single human vessel fired a destructive shot, yet Vorthon's fleet was neutralized completely. Talix watched the operation from a nearby moon, unable to believe what he saw. Humans could have destroyed the enemy completely in minutes, but they did not. The restraint was deliberate, and the lesson was clear. Mercy had limits, but it was more powerful than reckless violence. After the ambush, the humans sent a calm message across the alien networks. We warned the galaxy once. We act only when necessary. You still have a choice: submit or face consequences. Mercy is not weakness. The words struck like thunder. Some aliens recoiled, realizing they had misjudged humanity for centuries. Others, still arrogant, scoffed, but even they felt a gnawing unease. Humans were no longer merely reactive. They were proactive, strategic, and entirely in control of the battlefield. Meanwhile, at the Galactic Council, panic spread. Reports came in from all sectors. Fleets immobilized, colonies secured, warlords subdued without bloodshed. The council convened in emergency sessions, debating how to respond. Voices clashed in fear and confusion. They are too clever, said a crystalline delegate. They anticipate every move, every decision. We cannot fight them directly. They control the flow of battle without even trying to kill. A darker, larger alien hissed. They are patient, far too patient. Their restraint is deliberate. They are testing us, and patience like that hides fury. Talix nodded grimly. He had realized the same. Humanity's mercy was not naive, it was strategic. Every act of aid, every rescue, and every non-lethal strike was a demonstration of control, of intelligence, and of power. The galaxy's arrogance had blinded it to the truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. The turning point came when humans encountered an alien species that begged for mercy, not because they were innocent, but because they feared annihilation. This species had previously fought against humans, attacking colonies and attempting to spread chaos. Captain Ward deliberated with his council quietly. We will help them, he said finally, but only because it is the right thing. Our mercy is not weakness, but we will warn them. Any further aggression will be met with full force. Humans provided aid swiftly and efficiently, stabilizing the alien colony while maintaining full control of the surrounding star system. They repaired infrastructure, secured civilians, and established defensive positions to prevent further attacks. The aliens, once hostile, could only watch in awe and fear. They understood that mercy had been granted, but not without warning. Talix observed the aftermath and whispered, "This is it. The galaxy is beginning to understand. Humanity's mercy is both a shield and a sword." At the same time, humans consolidated their forces across the most dangerous zones. Fleets that had once been scattered and isolated now operated in perfect coordination. anticipating alien movements before they even occurred. The psychological effect on the alien commanders was profound. They had expected aggression or retreat. Instead, they saw calm, measured control paired with overwhelming capability. The Council struggled to contain panic. Some began secret negotiations, offering alliances and surrender. Others refused, blinded by pride, hoping that humans were bluffing. But humans were not bluffing. They had been patient for centuries, and their restraint had been deliberate. The message was clear. Continue aggression, and the consequences would be absolute. Talix's mind raced as he absorbed the unfolding events. Entire fleets had been neutralized without bloodshed, colonies restored, and alien warlords humbled, all through a combination of mercy, precision, and patience. He understood now why the galaxy had feared humanity in the first place, not because humans were cruel, but because they were disciplined, strategic, and unyielding when necessary. The final warning echoed across multiple communication channels. We have spared lives to show the galaxy what mercy can achieve. Do not mistake it for weakness. Humanity acts only when forced. The next time there may be no choice. A hush fell over the council chambers. For the first time, delegates realized that arrogance and underestimation had led them to the brink. The turning point was not in the battles themselves. It was in the realization that humanity's power was far greater than anyone had imagined. The galaxy had seen mercy, but it had also glimpsed the potential fury behind it. Talix shivered as he looked at the stars, dark and endless. The unexpected war had reached a critical moment. The galaxy had learned that mercy was a choice, not a weakness, and that patience was a weapon as formidable as any fleet. Humanity's patience had turned the tide, and soon the true strength of humans would be revealed. The galaxy held its breath. Fleets that had once roamed freely now hovered uncertainly, immobilized by fear and respect. Colonies that had trembled under alien occupation were finally safe, and the full scope of humanity's power had begun to dawn on every species that had once doubted them. Captain Elias Ward and his crew on the Aegis Sentinel observed it all with calm precision. The moment of judgment had arrived. Kraltek, the quadruped warlord who had once roared with arrogance, now trembled as his fleet struggled to retreat. Other alien commanders watched silently, their pride shattered, knowing they had misjudged the humans entirely. Humanity had struck decisively before, showing mercy when it mattered, but now they were delivering the final verdict. Talix, the young alien observer, watched from a distant vantage point. He had followed humanity's actions for months, from their quiet mercy to their strategic strikes, and he had never felt more awed or more fearful. He realized that humans were not only powerful, clever, and patient, but they were also fair. They punished aggression, protected the innocent, and allowed those willing to change a chance to survive. On the bridge of the Aegis Sentinel, Ward addressed his fleet. We have given warning. We have acted when necessary. Now we enforce the galaxy's understanding. Humanity will be respected or consequences will follow. We do not seek destruction, but we will not allow threats to continue. The human fleets moved with calm authority, circling key strategic systems. Alien ships that resisted were immobilized or disarmed, not destroyed. Colonies that had suffered under aggression were restored and secured. Civilians were evacuated or provided with resources, while warlords were given a clear choice: surrender or face further restraint. The impact on the Galactic Council was immediate. Delegates who had long debated human behavior now faced undeniable proof of what patience and strategic action could achieve. Humans had not used brute force unnecessarily. They had combined intelligence, mercy, and precision to achieve dominance without unnecessary bloodshed. A winged alien delegate spoke nervously. They are remarkable. Their restraint is unmatched, but so is their control. The galaxy has misjudged them for too long. Another, larger alien hissed. They are merciful. Yet the message is clear. Do not provoke them again. Humanity decides who is worthy of survival, and we have seen what happens to those who are not. Meanwhile, in the Outer Rim, human forces secured the last contested systems. Colonies previously threatened by piracy or warlords were now peaceful. Strategic fleets ensured no hostile force could regroup. Every human ship moved with calm purpose, maintaining control without unnecessary aggression. The message could not have been clearer. Humanity's mercy was deliberate, and humanity's judgment was final. Talix observed the humans gathering at a central system, communicating silently through coordinated signals, their calm presence radiating authority across light years. He realized that the galaxy had learned a hard lesson. Humans were patient, strategic and merciful, but when pushed, their actions were unstoppable. Kraltek, humbled and fearful, finally broadcasted a surrender. "We understand," he admitted, his voice trembling. "We will respect humanity from now on. We misjudged your patience." Humans responded not with triumph, but with quiet acknowledgement. "We warned the galaxy," Ward said. "Mercy is not weakness. Respect is earned. Continue aggression and there will be